everyone, we are back with yet another video of the AZ Sports Fan. Thank you so very much for tuning in, guys. I really do appreciate it. Now, in this video, I wanted to talk about none other than the state of the Arizona Cardinals and how we're looking like so far. Now, if you haven't told, I'm trying out a new headset right now, different headphones. I'm trying to see if when I open up the phone lines, I'm able to basically not hear that crackle. It was all on my end. I don't know if you guys watched my latest stream, but can everybody hear me right now? Can you guys give me some fist bumps on the chat below? We can go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and try to start this stream with looking at Thursday's injury report, taking a look at it, bouncing off ideas from you guys. How are you guys feeling about this? How are you feeling about that? And then we'll give it some time to open up the phone lines because I think it's very, very important to hear from you guys. Bottom line, let's take a look to see if you guys can hear me. There's some people that says it cuts a bit, but for the most part, everybody's giving me some fist bumps on the chat here below, so that's good. Really, really good to hear that the audio is working. I think most of the thing, what I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure that when I do get people live on here, that I'm able to hear them perfectly, like on my end. So let's go ahead and try that out. Let's go ahead and work on it here right now, guys. Let's share my screen. I want to go ahead and take a look at the injury report for this Thursday. Of course, this is what it looks like right now. Pretty good things that we're looking at right now, but also some things to be a little concerned about. We want to start off on the top. Injury report for Thursday, we're looking at Jalen Thompson. Did not practice due to an ankle injury. Really unfortunate. I hope he's very close to coming back, but we'll definitely see. As far as limited session goes, we have Zach Allen also with an ankle injury. We had Jonathan Joseph, which actually he had some pretty awesome plays this last game against the Patriots. So I'm really excited to see the progression, what happens with Jonathan Joseph and what happens with him. We also have Rashad Lawrence, also practicing in a limited fashion with a calf injury. Justin Pugh with an ankle injury, and Charles Washington with a groin injury. Now, those were at limited fashions. Looking at that limited spot, I'm a little worried about Justin Pugh. It seemed like he was a little banged up this last game. He seemed like he came out for a couple different snaps, but he seemed like he was a full go. It might be just more of kind of I guess maybe just more of a kind of like a conservative thing, kind of keep him on a limited basis for this game against the Rams, because honestly, we're going to need him a lot. Now, if you look at the full participants here, we have Justin Murray, which has a hand injury. We've got DeAndre Hopkins, Dan Arnold, Kyler Murray, and Tanner Vallejo. Now, obviously, the first thing we look at is Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. But I want to touch on Kyler Murray here for a little bit here. If indeed Kyler Murray was not 100% in this Patriots game, then I go ahead and completely give it a 100% pass. That, the performance that we ended up seeing this last time around. So I think we can go ahead and take a look here and just kind of go based off what we saw there. Obviously, we don't want to see another game like we saw against the Patriots, because honestly, it was pretty brutal. I didn't like to see it. But hopefully he's more a full participant. Maybe he's more of 100% going into this Rams game, because we can use him in all sense of the imagination here. Let's take a look here. Audio is messing up. All right, give me a second here. And then I don't think these are working. All right, bear with me, guys, here, and I apologize about that. This is kind of like one of those things where we're just trying to kind of go with the flow. I know I had some headphones in my pocket. Can you guys hear me better right now? Can you guys hear me better? Fist bumps, thumbs up on the chat here below. I guess these headphones aren't going to work. Give me a second here. Okay, perfect. So now, so we're just going to go with the phone information here as far as like the phone audio. So I apologize again, guys. But yeah, like I was saying a little earlier here, if you look at the full participants, things that jump out is obviously Kyler Murray. We want to make sure that he's 100%. I don't want to see another performance like Kyler Murray had against the Patriots game, where he wasn't very, very explosive. We need Kyler Murray to be a full go from here on out, and it's really, really important that this happens. So it's awesome to see full participants being Justin Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, Dan Arnold, and Kyler Murray, as well as Tanner Vallejo. Now, if you look at this game coming up here against the Rams, this is a very tough game coming up, guys. I'm not going to sugarcoat it at all. These games
This game coming up against the Rams is one of those games I fear, man. They have a very, very good defense. I know they lost a lot of big pieces in this last offseason, but they're still a really, really good defense nonetheless. So we just got to go ahead and take it with a grain of salt and kind of go from there. Now, guys, I do want to go ahead and let you know if you guys are interested in becoming on the show, because I'm going to get some subscribers on the show so I can like listen to your guys' feedback and what you guys have to say. Do me one big favor. All you need to do is follow me on Instagram. Everything is here below. This whole little ticker thing. If you have an Instagram, DM me on Instagram and say, hey, I want to get on the show. I want to go ahead and, kind of give my opinion out there. Then what I will do is I'll go ahead and send you a link. And once I send you a link, we'll be able to get you on the show, and we should kind of pretty much go from there. So if you guys are interested in definitely doing something like that, we'll talk playoffs, we'll talk Cardinals versus Rams, all that different stuff. Who should be an X factor? Who are we worried about on the opposite side? So we're gonna go ahead and pretty much just have a kind of a open discussion with you guys. So we already have our first person here that is willing to come on to the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. Let me go ahead and just give a quick link over to my guy. 1 second here. I think we're going to have we're going to have Kyle on here first. So if you guys can give me about let's take a look here, about 1 minute here. Let me go ahead and just get my link up ready to go. And then we should be good to go, guys. So I want to hear your guys' opinion. I think it's definitely really important. I do these streams, I do these videos for all of us to kind of have an open discussion. And I think it's kind of very, very important to kind of, stick with that type of mentality kind of moving forward. So 1 second here, guys. Let me go ahead and get where's my email? Of course, I can't find my email now, right? What's going on? So let me give you guys a question here while I'm getting all this stuff situated here on my end. If I were to give you guys one thing that you guys fear, you guys fear on the Rams side of the ball, give me one thing that you fear for that Rams team. It could be defense, it could be a player, it can be play action, it could be anything like that. Go ahead and let me know in the comments here below, and I will go ahead and get to you guys. Ramsey, yeah, I think a lot of people have that same mentality here. We have Jordan P saying Aaron Donald. That's it. That's funny. I mean, because we have a lot of people, saying Jalen Ramsey. It's the truth of the matter here, man. That it's really up to debate at this point if Jalen Ramsey is that number one corner. And yeah, he might be number one. He might be number two in the NFL. And that's something I really do fear a lot. Aaron Donald is probably just in general too much to fear as well. So I'm right there with you guys. Definitely something to fear for sure. Let me go ahead and send this link here real quick, and then we should be good to go. 1 second here. Let me give you guys another question here. Now, I understand the trend has been Arizona Cardinals losing to the teams we should be losing to. I'm sorry, Arizona Cardinals losing to the teams we shouldn't be losing to, and we beat the teams that nobody really gives us a chance about. Do you think this is kind of one of those games as well where we're going to kind of beat them? I know it's really kind of hard to say. Let's be honest with you, we can't really predict what's going to happen, but let me know what you guys think here. I think it's very important to kind of go based off of what you guys really think here. Let me get back onto the stream here. All right, perfect. I got my link right here. I'm going to go ahead and start sending these links out to you guys right now. All right, let's go ahead and just highlight a little bit more comments here. We have we have a guy named Your Mom saying Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, definitely. Rise Up Red Sea Gonzalez says D-Hop is better than Jalen Ramsey. I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. But I think it was kind of a cause for concern for me personally for the Arizona Cardinals team, being that DeAndre Hopkins didn't have a very good game. I think he had a decent game. He didn't have a terrible game, but he definitely didn't have a great game. So I'm going to start sending the links right now. The first person I'm going to send it out to is going to be none other than Kyle. Kyle, go ahead and go to your DMs on your Instagram. I just sent you a link, and I'm doing the same thing for James. So James, I'm going to have you on the queue for the second one, and then we can kind of go from there. And then we also have Raphael. Raphael's a new one. Raphael, I'm going to give you a link as well. If you want to wait about 5 to 10 minutes before you join, that's completely fine. But I'm going to have James and Kyle probably one of the first ones. So go ahead and get on there, guys, right now. And we should be able to get you guys on the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube, just so we can go ahead and pick your brains, what you guys feel like, and all that different stuff. So I'm really worried about this game. Not going to lie to you. Their defense is really scary. But the Arizona Cardinals, this is the opportunity right here. This is the opportunity for the Arizona Cardinals to really prove something here. So first person we have is none other than James in the house. James, can you hear me? Are you there?
Yo, hello.
James, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Give me 1 second here. I think last time what we did is I pretty much muted everybody, or I muted myself, and then I'll get you on. Give me 1 second. All right, James, go ahead and let me know what you think about this Arizona Cardinals versus Rams game. What do you expect to happen on this game? Go ahead.
Well, obviously, I'm going to be nervous because the divisional opponent, Rams, obviously, they have exceeded expectations this year. Everyone thought that they were going to be fourth in the division. Clearly, that's not the case. I think this game is going to be an L for the Arizona Cardinals, but we can bounce back in the next couple weeks. But it will be good to see what DeAndre Hopkins can do with Kyler Murray, hopefully 100%.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so very much. Give me 1 second. I'm going to bring you right back. Okay, my next question to you, my friend, is going to be, do you think, what do you think the X factor for the Arizona Cardinals is going to be this coming game versus the Rams?
Well, obviously, you need to get Kyler Murray running again because he has not been showing that with his injured arm. And then just the running game in general, that's kind of, even though we have the air raid offense, that's kind of what we have been doing lately, and it's been somewhat effective. But obviously, you're going to need DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, Larry Fitz back with the Larry Fitz with the blocking is especially important. So.
Perfect. I completely agree, man. I think we all live and die from the play of Kyler Murray. We'll see what happens. We'll absolutely see what happens here. I do have one question for you right now. Currently with 5 games left in the season. Now, granted, this is just a prediction, man. I'm not going to hold you to, if you're wrong or anything like that. If you can give me one prediction right now for the Arizona Cardinals for 5 games left in the season, what would you give it?
8-8 or 9-7, 7th seed in the playoffs, out in the first round.
Okay, and that's fair. That's absolutely fair. Personally, my expectations and not expectations, but my goals for this team, especially progressing from last year, is to either make the playoffs or become very, very, very close to the playoffs. Now, if we make the playoffs and exit in the first round, I would consider that to be a very good year personally.
Me too.
Good. Okay, perfect. What do you think? I know people hate about talking about draft, but one question, and this is the last question I have for you. What do you think the Arizona Cardinals needs to do this coming offseason? What's the biggest position, either in draft, free agency, whatever? What do you think the Arizona Cardinals should address?
Secondary help with cornerbacks, D-line, O-line. O-line has been playing better than I expected, but we could even trade our first-round picks for a big splash star on the defensive end. And I would be happy with either or.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's completely fair. And I appreciate your time here. Kyle, thank you so very much. It was a pleasure talking to you. Hopefully what we can start doing is do the post-game shows so we can kind of get, you guys' reactions after the game. And now I'm still working on the kinks. Obviously, I'm still going through a lot of technical difficulties on my end, but pleasure talking to you again. I know this is your, a few times you've been on the show, so I really do appreciate you, my friend.
Yeah, go Cards.
Thank you, man. Later. All right, guys, that was our guy, Kyle, here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to keep rolling. We're going to keep rolling. I want to hear what you guys have to say. We have Jordan P. saying, I DM'd you. Did you DM me? Let me take a look here. 1 second. Now, I do have a link for a lot of different people. Okay, so I see Carlos. So, Carlos, I'm going to send you a link right now. I know we're having an issue with a couple different people. Take your time. I'm able to see down here who's available in the waiting room. So if you're in the waiting room, just stay in there until we're pretty much ready to go. So right now, I think James is having issues. Raphael, I sent you a link. So if you can do me a favor on your smartphone, on your phone, whatever, if you want to use camera, if you don't want to use camera, it doesn't matter. Click on the link and you should be able to get into the stream here. So, but yeah, let's talk a little bit about what Kyle said. The possibility of the Arizona Cardinals packing up their, picks and making a big splash play. Do I think that's going to happen? I don't know. Like having a big splash play back to back for the Arizona Cardinals offseason would be cool. That's something that you dream of in Madden. But what, in my personal opinion, would it happen? I don't know. We don't know if it's going to happen. That would be cool, especially if we get somebody like super, super huge. I think we could all really use the help in the defensive line. The O-line is definitely something that we need help with. The DB position is definitely something that we need help in. Saul, this is to answer your question. So we're no longer doing like calls in anymore. What we're doing is if you follow me on Instagram, send me a DM, like actually message me. I'm going to send you a link so I can get you onto the stream. So we got James in here. So James is going to be on the stream. James, can you hear me, my friend?
I can hear you. How you doing?
Perfect.
Are you able to hear
Awesome,
me?
man.
Okay, cool. Okay. I'm JK Gamer, by the way. One of your subscribers.
So it's a little
Yes.
choppy on my end, but we're going to work through. I'm going to ask you some questions, and then we're going to kind of go from there. Looking at
All
this
right.
game right now, Arizona Cardinals versus the Rams, man, what is your expectations for this game this coming Sunday? Go ahead.
I think it might be a close one, though we might. Is this going to be the home game or the away game first?
Home.
Home?
Yep.
I would say we might. It could go either way, to be honest. I think we might either lose this or win this because when we go face against our rivals, we have that tendency of losing one game to our rivals and then we win another one. So, and I'm also worried about the tight ends because we have a lot of problem covering tight ends.
I agree, man. I definitely agree there. What do you think is going to be the biggest X factor for the team to win? Now, I know it's going based off completely off prediction, and I'm not going to hold you to it. I'm not going to say, hey, James told me this, he's a liar. That's not what I'm going to do here. You know what I mean? I think my question here is, obviously, this game could go either way. The Cardinals can win, or the Cardinals can lose in a really miserable fashion. As far as when Sean McVay has been with the Rams, we have not looked very good. We've been losing a lot. So what do you think the Arizona Cardinals needs to do to make sure that we get this win at home?
I would say Cliff Kingsbury would stop need to playing it cute and whatnot and actually, use DeAndre Hopkins more. Hopefully Larry Fitzgerald will be playing. And our run hasn't been effective a lot either, so maybe we could use the run for like third downs and whatnot, but definitely throw it in the air more.
Perfect. I love that, man. And I'm so glad that you said that Cliff Kingsbury, like just doing too much of like a cutesy type of thing. He's very, very, he's known for doing that. And especially, I've been saying this multiple different times, when you have a drive, like stop trying to do too much. Like when I say like cutesy type of stuff, like I'm pretty much saying like you're doing too much. Like stop it. You know what I mean? Like not this end around. We're not that team yet. Like we're not completely polished. If the runs game's working, run the ball. If we're getting the deep shots, throw the ball down the field. And that's kind of what I want Cliff Kingsbury to learn. It's barely his second year in the NFL. It's going to be a learning process. But what do you think about this future Arizona Cardinals with Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray, like the era of this? What do you think is going to happen?
I think it's going to be a bright future for them. A lot of people are wanting to get rid of Cliff Kingsbury, but I was talking with my dad, and my dad says give him at least one more year. Let him prove himself. Because it's only his second year, so.
I completely agree, man. What do you think? And this is my last question for you, my friend.
Yeah.
What do you think about maybe giving him a head coach, offensive coordinator to help him out? Because I think it's a little bit too much for him. What do you think about that?
That would definitely help him out. Definitely.
Yeah,
that will help him out 100%.
Like those things where it's like, should I go on fourth down? Should I not go on fourth down? Should I do this? Should I do that? Just to have somebody to bounce off ideas. Now, if you're going to ask me who's going to be, the offensive coordinator, I don't know. We still got to look to see who's going to get fired or who's going to be available. It's definitely not going to be Eric Bieniemy, although we would love that. But you wouldn't leave Kansas City for the Arizona Cardinals, would you?
No. I have a question for you, real quick.
What's up?
Who do you think is going to win?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. Honestly, my biasness, I want to say the Arizona Cardinals because the way that we've been playing the beginning of the season, I just cannot fathom that it's gone. Like I just cannot imagine it just being like dissipated. I think we had 2 bad weeks. We might have overlooked these two teams, and we're just like, hey, it's no big deal. We got this. Or, hey, we beat the Seahawks already. We can do it again. I think they pretty much overlooked it. And I think they just need to get back to the basics, find out what their identity is, and basically execute. I think that's just the number one thing that they need to do. And DeAndre Hopkins, for the love of God, throw it to him.
Yeah. One more question. Sorry, this will be the last. What do you think about Kyler's shoulder?
I think he was a lot more like I think it bugged them more in the Patriots game that they led us to believe. And the reason why is the play calls. It's obvious, man. I think it was really obvious, and I think you don't, as a head coach, you definitely don't want to tell the Patriots, hey, he's got a hurt shoulder right now, because it's a completely dimensional. Like, it's going to be obvious what we're going to do in the game plan. So I think they try to mask it, but it obviously won't work. Bill Belichick is just too much. He's just too dang good.
That's true. Alrighty.
All right, brother. Well, I'll have you back on another stream. Hopefully, maybe post game. That would be awesome to get you back on and get you your opinions about it. Okay.
Alrighty, man. Thank you.
Have a great day. Okay. All right, guys. That was our guy James. Next, we have our guy Raphael in the house. Sorry, give me 1 second. Let me take down Carlos. I apologize, Carlos. Raphael, what is going on? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. It's a little choppy, but that's only on my end here. Let me ask you some questions. I'll put myself on mute, and we'll take it from there. Carlos, thank you so very much for joining the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. Let me know what's your expectations, or how do you think this game's going to go, Arizona Cardinals versus the Rams this Sunday?
I mean, obviously, I want them to win. I'm a Cardinals fan, but yeah, just another win for the Cardinals.
Okay, perfect. Now, what do you think is going to be an X factor? Because the last 2 years, being that Sean McVay has been the head coach for the Rams, we've lost all the time. Sean McVay just has his way with the Arizona Cardinals. Obviously, we weren't a really good team those last 2 years. Do you think that's going to change this year?
Definitely. It's Kyler Murray's play. We're gonna live and die by the way he plays.
I love that, man. Man, you're just taking a book out of my. I love that. See, and that's it's really cool too, because I've been saying this for the past 3 weeks, and I think it's really true, right? We live and die by what happens with Kyler Murray. If he's not 100% and if they're making him that 100% pocket passer, we're not going to do very, very well unless he can move the ball down the field with his legs and release the ball whenever he can. I mean, let's be honest. He's a dual threat quarterback. I think he's better than Lamar Jackson in the pocket personally, or as far as throwing the ball, maybe not in the pocket because he's not as tall, but he's a better thrower of the ball, but he needs to have his explosiveness, right?
Yeah.
Perfect, man. Thank you so very much. Give me your prediction right now. And like I said to all these guys I have on here, I'm not going to hold you to this. I'm not going to say, hey, Raphael told me we're going to win. I'm not going to do that to you. Let me know what your prediction is, man, for this game.
If Kyler Murray and the offense plays well, I have faith in our defense, so 37-17.
Ooh, okay, perfect. Awesome, man. Well, hopefully from your lips to the football god's ears, and we can get a really good game, because honestly, going on a 3-game losing streak, I cannot fathom, man. I would just lose my stuff, and that's just to put it G-rated. You know what I'm trying to say here. But all right, brother, thank you so very much for coming on, man. Hopefully you can stay on the stream. If you can't, hopefully I get you on in a future stream, all right?
All right.
All right, good night. All right, guys, next we have our guy Carlos in the house. Thank you so very much for joining in here. Carlos, can you hear me, my friend?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me? Your mic's off.
I'm muted. No, that's silly. And that's just me on. Okay, my bad, dude. I can hear you perfectly now, man. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Good, man. I am doing fantastic. I cannot complain. I was going to go ahead and tell you right now, what do you think is going to happen this game, Arizona Cardinals versus the Rams, in a nutshell? Let me know, man.
Okay. I feel like if we can handle, try to figure out Ramsey a little bit with Hopkins and whoever our other receiver is, which is Christian Kirk, I feel like we can use them as weapons against Ramsey. And for Aaron Donald, I think we just need to move Kyler away from Aaron Donald. That way Aaron Donald is getting sacks on Murray.
And yep, that's completely fair, man. Now, who do you fear most I know it's really hard to choose, but if you were to pick one, Jalen Ramsey or Aaron Donald, like which one would you choose?
I would say Aaron Donald because he's more of a dynamic player. He wants to be like the best, like Lawrence Taylor and everybody. So, and I feel like he's playing that way coming from a Cardinal fan. I really like the way how he plays and everything. But we got to watch out for Donald. Ramsey's the same way. I know he's a good trash talker, but I think he can provide a good matchup
No, yeah, and that's
Hopkins.
completely agree, man. I agree with that one. Do you think Jalen Ramsey is gonna take down or like put away DeAndre Hopkins?
I feel like if they don't, I feel like they could if um, I feel like they could if Ramsey can haul off D Hop, but I feel like D Hop's gonna probably break away from Ramsey. I mean, he's done it before.
Right. Yeah, he definitely has. I think it's going to be a really even match, man. I think Jalen's going to win some matches, and I think DeAndre Hopkins is going to win some matches.
I think,
In my personal opinion, I think the biggest X factor here is we need to see more balls thrown down the field. We've seen it a couple different times, but there's something off. Whether it's miscommunication with Dan Arnold, with the wide receiver, there just we need to have that big play again. Here's my question to you, my friend. Do you believe in Christian Kirk being a number 2 wide receiver, and why?
yes, I do. I think Christian Kirk is an amazing athlete. He has the same, not really the same speed as D Hop, but I feel like he could be the next guy that takes over for Larry whenever Larry retires. But I feel like Kirk right now is playing at his best level, and I feel like he's underrated and not talked about more.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I think one of the biggest things here that Christian Kirk is kind of battling against, obviously he's a second round pick. Comes out from Texas A&M, I believe that's the college he ended up coming from, but he's a hometown kid, you know. He was born and raised in Scottsdale, so everybody was really excited. We gravitated toward him, but man, you cannot excuse the drop that he had against the Patriots game. The ball was given to him in the breadbasket, I like to say, but in his hands, like it was there and it just fell out for right under him. And like, let me know what you were thinking at that very moment. Do you think that was a game changer, and what really was a deciding factor in who won this game against the
Yes,
Patriots?
I feel like it was Christian Kirk. I feel like he could have had that ball because he's caught before, and I feel like he can do it again. But personally, I think our loss against the Patriots was not having Larry there. He's kind of like the locker room leader.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I mean, I was gonna say I haven't heard that, but I mean, it's kind of dumb to say that I haven't heard that. But let's be honest, yeah, Larry Fitzgerald gives more to this team than stats, and I completely 100% agree with you. Like, he gives us leadership, he gives us smarts when it comes to, like, you know, moving the ball, you know, time management and all that different stuff. I agree with you there. Last question I have from you, Carlos, and this might be controversial, but I want to hear what you have to say. 4th and inches or 4th and 1, whatever that situation was. If you're Cliff Kingsbury, would you have gone for the touchdown, or would you have let Zane Gonzalez and kick that field goal?
I feel like if because I know we have the running backs, but yes, I do feel like they should have gone for it on 4th and 1. But I feel like coming from Cliff Kingsbury's mindset, we got stopped before halftime, and I feel like he didn't want to take that risk of being
Yeah.
stopped again.
Okay. So you said that Cliff Kingsbury, like, it was cool, right? Like, you would have done the same thing, gone for the 4th and 1, right? Where Kenyon Drake got stopped.
Yeah, I feel like if they stopped us, I feel like if they used Chase Edmonds, because Chase is really fast, they couldn't stop him on New England side.
Okay. I think that there was a couple of different times that Kyler Murray could have pulled the ball and ran it himself. He wasn't 100%. I don't think he was. And I think they were playing very cautious with Kyler. But, bro, thank you so very much for being on here, man. I'll hopefully see if I can get you back on another stream. It'd be wonderful to talk to you again, man. But have a great rest of your night, okay?
You too. Go Cards.
Thank you, man. Later. All right, guys. Next, we have Jordan P. in the house. What's up, Jordan? How you doing, my friend?
What's up, man? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. It's choppy, but it
Okay.
fixes itself. It fixes itself. So no worries. What we're going to do, ask you a question. I'll put myself on mute. So let me know what you think, man. Cardinals, Rams, go.
Oh man. Aaron Donald, man. Especially since Mason, he's gonna be the biggest X factor. I know Jalen Ramsey. he's one of the best, if not the best corners. But we also have DeAndre Hopkins who can match up with him, so he's not going to be that much of an issue. DeAndre Hopkins is going to win occasionally against him. It's going to happen. He's going to beat him a couple of times. It just depends whether or not Kyler Murray actually gets him the ball when he is open. And but Aaron Donald to me is the biggest X factor, just because we have our backup third round center we drafted from years ago, coming in, and he hasn't been playing that well. Especially last week, he was beat by Adam Butler, the Patriots defensive tackle, who's not really a great player. But Aaron Donald's arguably the greatest interior defensive lineman in the history of the game, and you got Mason Cole and J.R. Sweezy, who's just been horrible this whole season. And Aaron Donald's going to be a problem. And for the defensive side, we have to stop the run because the Rams, their bread and butter is the play action. Jared Goff is only good off play action. So if you can stop the run, then their play action is going to get canceled out, and we can actually have a shot to win this game.
Absolutely, man. I'm so glad you brought up the play action. He thrives on it, man. He does very, very good stuff when play action is involved, especially those rollouts. And the thing is that if we allow the run game to continue, that's going to be as effective, and it might be the downfall of this game. I think I was reading a few comments saying that the way that the 49ers attacked the Rams was like attacking them from like the left side because he loves rolling out that way. So who knows, man? We'll see what happens in this coming game. But do you think the defense could hold up against this team? Obviously, we're not going to shut them out. That's not the defense that we have. But do you think we're going to, do pretty decent against them?
It depends. For this season, for me, Hassan Reddick, he's actually been showing. He showed up the past, like the first, I would say 10 weeks. He showed up really big in the pass rushing side of the ball. Especially since the years before we had him an inside linebacker, and that was just horrible. It was just a terrible move by the coaches to put him there when he was only really a pass rusher in college. But now, we've seen him step his game up the past 2 games. He hasn't really been there. Same with Budda Baker. They really haven't. Him and Budda Baker really haven't made plays the last 2 games. So I really think Vance needs to be able to scheme up more blitzes for Budda Baker, especially since he's so fast at getting to the quarterback. Isaiah Simmons also. What I like about it is that now we're seeing him drop to free safety, even not just just strictly linebacker. So he's slowly but surely becoming more versatile for our defense. But yeah, stopping the run is going to be the biggest thing. If we can stop the run, we definitely have more than a 50% chance to win the game. If we can't stop the run, it's going to be slim to no chance.
I agree, completely agree, man. I hope that Devondre Campbell has another massive game because he had a great game against the Patriots, and it's unfortunate that it went not the way that we wanted it to because the Zane Gonzalez field goal. But there was plenty of opportunities for the Cardinals to win. It shouldn't have come down to the leg of Zane Gonzalez. I'm the number one to say that. Now, whether you say, at the end of the year we let go Zane Gonzalez or not, what is your opinion on Zane Gonzalez? Like, obviously, we're not going to let him go during the season. Everybody knows that. But what do you think? You think give him another year? What's your opinion on it?
Zane, I know everybody in Arizona is tired of hearing Zane after the amount of missed kicks he's missed this season already. He's I believe bottom. He's the 5th worst kicker in terms of field goal percentage this year. So he hasn't been good at all. But it's tough because you can just say, oh, just go get this person, go get that person, but you don't know, you don't really know how they're gonna act. What if they come here and miss a pressure kick as well? Then it's gonna have to restart all over again. But the thing that bothers me is that Cliff Kingsbury, again and again, he's trusting Zane Gonzalez over Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, which makes no sense to me whatsoever. When Drake Paxton got that interception, I was telling myself, please go for the touchdown. Because once you play conservative, you're playing into the Patriots' hands, and you're going to give them the ball back. It just doesn't make sense. Plus, Zane has already missed pressure kicks for us. So my thinking was, all right, now pass the ball. Don't just hand the ball off until, run the clock, 3rd down, then get 4th down and kick the field goal. No, go for, even if we're at 4th down, it was only 4th and 2. So you can have that option. It doesn't have to be a run. You can, put a zone read in there. Kyler can throw it. He can run it. His legs gives you that ability where you can call a pass play and he can run it or throw it. and plus you have the best wide receiver in the game to only get 2 yards. So it doesn't really make sense to put a kicker that's already missed so many pressure kicks for you. It doesn't make sense to me.
Dude, you're hitting it 100% on the head. You're completely right. The moment I saw Zay Gonzalez, and I'm not one of those guys that are like, oh, I called it. But the thing is, I knew something in back of my mind. I was like, my goodness, if he misses this game, I'm sorry, this goal, this field goal, we're done. Like, it's done. And what happens? He misses it. And yeah, I mean, it was definitely frustrating. Let me ask you this question, man. If you're Cliff Kingsbury before we enter the half, would you have gone for the field goal? Or, I mean, obviously hindsight's 2020, but you thought it was a good call for him to go for the touchdown instead of the field goal?
Okay, yeah, I've actually talked about this a lot, and if I don't know, Cliff just doesn't. He works backwards to me. He doesn't use. I don't know. He uses analytics too much. That's the thing with him. Yeah. Because if it's 4th and 1 or 4th and 2, analytics is almost going to always tell you have more than a 50% chance to make it. So he's always going to go for it. He doesn't use his own brain. He just uses what the computer's statistics tell him. But it was clearly obvious we should have took the 3 points. I know it was the 1 yard line. I'm going to say we're at the 1. But if you think about it and break it down, the Patriots are a team. They don't score 50 points. So you don't need touchdown every time. Take whatever points is available to you. Plus, we're getting the ball after the half. So you can just get a free 3 points right there, and then you get the ball back, and then you can go score or do whatever but at least you had that 3 points extra on your on the scoreboard for when you get the ball back. You already you're up by that little amount of points, and then you can go score a touchdown or even a field goal, expand that lead. It just didn't make sense to me since it's the Patriots. They're not, and their offense was horrible the whole game. So, that 3 points, what lost us the game. If it was the Chiefs or the Bucks or the Packers, I would have total 100% said go for it, because you're gonna need touchdowns to beat those teams. You don't need touchdowns every time to beat the Patriots. It just didn't make sense.
I completely agree, man. You're dropping some serious facts. I will get you back on the show. Hopefully, maybe a post game will be kind of cool to get you on here to kind of give your opinion and everything and what happened. But I agree, man. Cliff Kingsbury needs to be a little bit better and not trust analytics 100%. We need to go based off what team we're playing. 100% agree with that, my friend. Thank you so very much for coming on, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
All right, later, man. All right, guys, that was our guy, Jordan P. Now, we still have some time available to get probably about 5 or 6 more calls, just depending on how long it is. If you guys are interested in coming on the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube, all you need to do is go ahead and add me on Instagram. It's going to be here on this little ticker below. It's AZ Sports Fan. You'll see the same logo. Shoot me a DM, say, hey, I want to get on the show, and I'll get you on the show. The truth of the matter here right now, guys, is that yes, there's so much different things that we need to learn from the Patriots game, from the Lions game, from the Panthers game, from the second Seahawks game. Time and time again, the Arizona Cardinals is just so weird because we're losing to the teams that we should be beating, but we're winning against the teams like the Seahawks, the Bills, which the Bills was absolute luck. Let me give you that right now. We didn't nowhere near probably deserve that Bills game, but that was straight luck. Now, thankfully, the football gods were looking at us and being like, let me give you a win for that one, because honestly, we probably wouldn't be this close to a playoff push, or we would be like battling it out with now the Vikings is coming up. We have the Bears also kind of coming up. But right now we have a 6-game win right now within the as far as our record goes. But I think the truth of the matter here right now, guys, is the Arizona Cardinals needs to take care of what we need to take care of right now. Don't care what the Seahawks doing. Don't care what the 49ers doing, which they're actually coming up pretty fast now, which is a little scary. I'm not lying to you. I think they have like 4 to 5 wins right now, which they're only behind us a certain amount, which if we can't get the job done right now, maybe the 49ers will be another contender here that we also got to worry about. But that's just kind of like the truth of the matter right now, that we need to make sure that we figure out what we got to do best right now. And the number one thing is we got to win. There's no more excuses at this point. There's no more of this type of like, oh, we should have been a better play caller. Obviously, you should have been a better play caller. I mean, that's the truth of the matter here. That's the game. So let's go on to the comments here. I believe we have maybe one more person reaching out to me. I'm going to give it some time so I can get a message. But let's read into the comments. Let's hear what you guys have to say here on the comments. We have Highness saying, it's faith on our side. We bring the fire and make big plays and be the better team. that's all we need to do. I know it's easier said than done. I completely get that aspect of it all, but the Arizona Cardinals are in prime position to really figure out what their fate is going to be here. Like, this is probably one of the very few times the Arizona Cardinals doesn't have to depend on, well, if this person loses and that person loses and the domino effect that happens from this and that. The fate is in our hands right now. And I know it sounds cliche. I know it sounds like fairy tale type of things, but it's in our hands, and it's only really up to us if we deserve to be playoffs or not. Now, are we Super Bowl bound? Probably not. And even if we were somehow, getting really close to the Super Bowl, we are not getting past the Chiefs. Those Chiefs are a different breed, guys. So there's just a lot of things that we need to get better at. I think that's the truth of the matter here. I do have one other person that I'm going to get onto the stream here. I did see your message. I believe it's Bentley. Let me get you on here, Bentley. If you're in the stream right now, let me get you a link. I just sent you a link, Bentley. Go ahead and click on the link with your smartphone. If you want to use your camera, that's cool. If you just want to be audio, that's cool too, man. Let me know when you're in, and then we should get you on the show, man. Thank you so very much for getting on. But yeah, guys, that's the truth of the matter here right now, that we're just everything, the fate is behind us. Now, obviously, we have the Seahawks doing magical things. Whenever Russell Wilson is back there, he does magical stuff. We can't worry about what the Seahawks are doing. The division, to me right now, I don't think the division's like nowhere near right now. The Seahawks have the division, and that's completely cool with me. I want to get into the playoffs. There's this one of the very few times ever since I've been living here that we have 7 teams going into the NFC conference. This is the opportunity here right now for the Arizona Cardinals to squeak their way in and try to make some noise. I mean, even if we get like one win and then we lose the second round, even if we lose the first round, I just want to get in there. I want to see a progression from last year to this year, because right now we're only a one win team better than last year, and that doesn't sit well with me. That doesn't sit with me well at all. So let me go ahead and just say this right now. The Arizona Cardinals needs to take care of what they need to take care of. Their goal, their mindset should be playoffs. I don't think division. I think wild card is what we need to really think into right now. That's the truth of the matter here. Let's keep on reading here on to the comments here. I do have, I believe Bentley, he actually seen it. I think it's Bentley. I'm not going to say your last name, but go click on that link, my friend. I think I saw somebody else here trying to get on. Mohammed. Yeah, I got you right here, Mohammed. I'm sending you a link right now, my friend. I love this, man. This is the beauty of social media, guys. The beauty of social media. All you need to do is shoot me a DM. I send you a link and you can get on a live stream. Like, what the heck? You know what I mean? It's so crazy. But yes, that's the truth of the matter here, guys. Right now, the Arizona Cardinals needs to take care of business. Now, there's a lot of Seahawks fans that are, coming on the videos and saying, hey, I'm rooting for you guys because obviously the Rams are, sneaking up on them. And that's not a good spot to be when a team is sneaking up on you at all. Alan, it says, I DM'd you. I would really love to get. Hey, Alan, actually, I sent you a link. If you can actually go onto your Instagram messages, you have a link in there. So make sure that you check your messages because I send you something. We got Dwayne saying, I need to throw more D-Hop. Yes, I completely agree. So we actually have somebody here. We have Mo. Let me get Mo onto the stream. Mo, can you hear me? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Perfect. I can hear you good. It's choppy on my end, but let me ask you a question. Let me mute myself and it'll fix itself on its own. Mo, let me know what your expectation for this Arizona Cardinal Rams game this coming Sunday. Go.
That's a very good question. So we're currently sitting at 6-5. We're in a tough situation. We have the Vikings, Bears, and the Niners who are coming up behind us, which is kind of scary, to be honest. Out of those 3 teams, I think the Vikings have the best chance. Their team overall is a little bit better, but we'll see what happens. For the Rams game, I just expect us to we just need a win. That's basically what it is. These next few games are must win, especially with the other teams behind us having an easier schedule. These wins are very important for us. So at the end of the day, I expect Kyler Murray to get things done with his feet, especially through the air, get Hopkins the ball way more than the Patriots game. And yeah, overall, just try to. Jared Goff, he's a turnover machine right now. Lately, he's been kind of a turnover machine. So I think we'll be good at containing him. When it comes to Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, it's going to be kind of hard because our secondary is kind of banged up. And Patrick Peterson hasn't been the best this year, but we'll see what happens. But I have hope for this team. Isaiah Simmons is getting better and better each game, and it's looking bright. But we just need to stay focused and stay locked in.
Cool. So right now, the audio is really choppy on my end, so I hope you didn't ask me a question. Let me ask you another question here real quick, and then once everything clears up, I'll let you ask me something if you did, and if you did, I apologize. My question to you here, if you already answered, I apologize. And I know it's really hard to choose out of the two, but who do you think is going to be the biggest X factor in your mind? You think it's going to be Aaron Donald, or do you think it's going to be Jalen Ramsey?
The biggest X factor, I think, is going to be Aaron Donald. Yeah, I think Aaron Donald is going to have a pretty big game. We need to try our best to, double team him, triple team him as much as we can, because as you know, Kyler Murray will try to scramble. He will have to scramble a lot if Aaron Donald does get past the line of scrimmage. So at the end of the day, I think Hopkins can get it done versus Jalen Ramsey. He's played him in the past a lot before because Texans versus Jaguars kind of happened a lot over the last few years. And yeah, I think Hopkins will do well versus Ramsey. I have a lot of faith. He'll be more motivated because it's gonna be a tough cornerback. So and he'll have a better chance with all that motivation. And yeah, I think Murray will have a bigger day with his legs this come Sunday.
I hope so, man. Murray gets better when he's able to beat a dual threat. So I completely agree. But here's my question to you, my friend, and it's going to get a little because this is split down the middle. We have a lot of people saying, "Hey, let him go." There's a lot of people saying, "Hey, I'm overreacting. It's not a big deal." Zane Gonzalez, man, and I know it's probably we need to find out what happens these next 5 games. I get it. But Zane Gonzalez, man, what do you think the future is going to be? If you were the GM for the Arizona Cardinals, Steve Keim, what would you do, man? Would you start looking for another kicker? What say you? Go ahead.
Here's the thing. Since, we did have Chandler Catanzaro for a couple of years, and he was not the best. And I think we've been having bad luck with kickers these last few years, 5 to 6 years. We've been having really, really bad luck with kickers for some reason. And I feel like we're kind of cursed in a way, But I feel like we'll see how he plays out these last few games. If we get in the playoffs and he does well in the playoffs kicking and he clutches up for us, we'll have a better chance. And we'll probably, give him more opportunities, and we'll see what he's about in the clutch, especially in the playoffs. Obviously, those games versus the Dolphins and the Patriots, just terrible and tragic. And, it is what it is. We have to just have more faith in him. But if it does continue this way, there's no choice but to let him go because we can't have another season with these missed kicks and these missed opportunities to win games. It's just not going to work out with us, especially since we're still trying to work our way up there.
And I agree with you, man. And I think I saw a couple of different people on the chat here, man. If whenever you come back on the stream, if we can change your name to Mo Money, Mo Problems, I feel like everybody would be so much happier, man.
Yeah, I appreciate
I'm
that,
just joking with you, man. I saw like 5
that.
people say Mo Money, More Problems. And I was like, that's hilarious.
But everyone calls me Mo Money. It's funny, so it makes sense.
Oh, no way?
Yeah, really.
That's hilarious, man.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Mo Money, that's enough for me, man. That'd be awesome to have you on here more. But let me ask you another question, man. And this has got to be another question that's either controversial or however you want to take it. Christian Kirk, man, number 2 wide receiver or not? What do you think?
Christian Kirk, I feel like he could be a number 2 receiver if he's a little more consistent. He has games where he's playing amazing, really, really good deep ball threat for Kyler Murray. But there's times where he just doesn't do anything at all, and it's like we should see how he plays out a few more games and give him more chances. We can't just give up on the guy. He's really good. He's a big help for Kyler Murray in the deep ball because Hopkins, he's a deep ball threat, but Christian Kirk is just always just getting it done, 60+ yards, and it's a really good help for us, a really good support. And yeah, I think he could be a good number 2 receiver if he stays consistent.
Okay, that's fair. Completely fair. Let me just pause you real quick. I got my first super chat of the night. None other than King Josh 4K saying he's expecting a big game from K1 against the Lambs. That's hilarious. Yeah, man, I hope so too. Let me ask you one last question before I get you off because I have another person waiting on the queue here. What do you think is the most impressive win so far this season for the Arizona Cardinals?
Our most impressive win, I think it was against the Seahawks in overtime. That win, it kind of it's what sparked this great team that we've had, and it just shows how tough our players are and how much they want to win. And I feel like that overtime, that was insane. Like the way we got it done, the way we came back. We were down 10, I believe, with like 3 minutes left, and we got it done. So, yeah, that was our signature win right there in that season.
Perfect, man. Well, I appreciate you being on here. I hope I can get you back on. Just stay connected with me, man, on Instagram, man. I would appreciate it, man.
Of course, man. I'm a huge fan. Keep it up.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you so very much. Have a good night.
You too.
All right, guys, that was our guy, Mo Money. All right, man. So we're going to go ahead and move on. We're going to speak to Alan here shortly, but let me just go ahead and give King Josh a quick dab. Thank you so very much, my friend. I appreciate for the super chat that you went ahead and donated here. It means the world, man. It helps out the channel grow and all that different stuff. Before we get to Alan, everybody do me one big favor. Drop a like on this video. It helps out the channel grow. We're trying to hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of the season. And by the way everything's going, every video I post, I get at least 20, 30 more people being like, hey, I never knew you were on YouTube. What the heck is going on? Like, how come I barely found this channel? It's crazy to me. I don't know why, but please just drop a like on the video. It helps out, means the world to me. All right, we got Alan in the house. Alan, can you hear me, my friend?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly. The first time it's not choppy.
Right.
Dude, so thank you so very much for getting on here, man. I want to ask you a couple different questions.
Big
If you
fan.
have a question for me, I would love to answer for you. But let's start off here. Arizona Cardinals, Rams this Sunday. What's your expectations about how this game is going to go?
I'm thinking trap game for this game, really. I'm really worried about Aaron Donald, obviously. And Mason Cole, I feel like is going to get eaten alive. But I'm not worried about Hopkins on Ramsey because they've played each other so many times because they're division rivals. And Hopkins has gone the better of Ramsey a lot. So I'm not worried about that matchup. I'm actually worried about Darius Williams, who's their breakout corner on Christian Kirk. I feel like he's going to limit the deep ball from Christian Kirk. So we're going to have to unfortunately, it's going to be like the New England game, I think, and we'll have a bunch of these short, inky-dinky passes that don't get us a lot of yards when we're used to having these 15-yard passes or these 20-yard passes. So, yeah.
Okay, that's completely fair. I could definitely see this game coming out to be that type of game too, which, I mean, if we get a win, I don't care how we win. Ugly win, I don't care. As long as we get a win, I don't care. But let's talk a little bit here about, obviously, Sean McVay, ever since he's been a head coach for the Rams, he's gotten the betterness of the Arizona Cardinals. I believe he's 4-0 right now against us. Do you think, I don't know, like, what do you think is going to be the best way to win this game here? If we had any chance, what is the 1 to 2 things, if you want to bring up, that we can do to make sure we get a W here?
I think we need to score on the opening drive. That is huge. And I think if we score on the opening drive, our defense starts to play better. When we score a lot of points, our defense can hold it down, in my opinion. But scoring on the opening drive and establishing the run and power running football, like power football, up the middle, no Kenyon Drake early season around the edges, just up the middle, get some first downs, and then just keep driving in the field. And we got to go tempo this game because their defense is good. We got to use a lot of tempo.
I love that, man. You're right, man. I think that's something that we overlook a lot. It's important for the Arizona Cardinals to start fast, man. It's frustrating when we're not doing anything on the offensive side of the ball, first quarter, second quarter, and even into like the third quarter. It's really frustrating. So we'll see what happens, man. You got any questions for me?
So I'm a big Christian Kirk fan. I think he's going to be a star. But do you think he could be a wide receiver number 2 next to DeAndre Hopkins?
I mean, if you've been rolling with this channel for quite some time, man, I was a big advocate of getting CeeDee Lamb. Now, I got a lot of flack for it because a lot of people were saying we don't need him. And I get it. But the thing what I thought at that moment with CeeDee Lamb is he's that type of player like the Adrian Peterson. He's like that type of player where you can't pass on that type of talent. And so far, if Dallas was a better team, I feel like he would be putting a lot more statistical numbers out there if Dak Prescott was his quarterback. I think he would have had a breakout year. I like Christian Kirk. I want him to work. Like, I never want anything bad for our wide receivers or any of our players. I want everything but the luck. But so far, what I've seen from Christian Kirk, I've seen him do really good in spurts. Now, this probably may be his most consistent year because he had like 3 straight games where you're like, dang, maybe he could be a number 2. I'm super happy about him. But I need to see more consistency, man. And I'm not asking for 2-3 touchdowns a game. I'm asking for 80 yards, 70 yards in a consistent and maybe a touchdown every 2 games, every 3 games. And that's just not what I've seen so far from Christian Kirk. He's either really good or it's like, was Christian Kirk playing today? What was the stats on Christian Kirk?
Right.
Like, that's how I
Right.
feel about him. Now, nothing bad to say about him. I want him to be successful. I want him to
Yeah.
slap me and be like, hey, you're wrong. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You only benefit me because I love the Arizona Cardinals. And if you win, that's all I care about.
Yeah. Also, I
That's
have
just-
another question. That's okay.
Yeah, what's up, man?
So when Fitz goes, right, and it's gonna happen soon, which sucks,
Yes.
but it's gonna happen. Who do you, as like a trade target or free agents? I don't really know all the free agent receivers, but mostly trade target. Who would you want as that trade target for the number 3 receiver? And my pick would be Curtis Samuel from the Carolina
Ooh.
Panthers.
Oh, okay.
I've always been high on him, like ever
Mhm.
since. Like this year's playing really good, and he popped up in a lot of trade rumors, and I think he'd be a perfect fit because he can actually run the ball like on jet sweeps and stuff. He'd basically be another Christian Kirk, but I think 2 deep threats is better than 1.
Right. And I agree with you, man. I think if we do get a pick, and if it does happen, if you ask anybody this question, people are going to say Julio Jones. People are going to say Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
But the truth
Right.
of the matter here, we're not in Madden. Like, we're not playing. We can't do that. We're paying a wide receiver money to DeAndre Hopkins. We can't get a number 1. I think Curtis Samuel is a really good option, man. Personally, I love anybody from the Patriots, dude. Anybody from the Steelers. I'm sorry. Let me retract, from the Steelers. They know
Right.
how to pick wide receivers. I don't know what it is, or maybe it's something in the water in Pittsburgh, but even if they get a 4th, 3rd rounder, this guy is looking like a jewel. It might be, Ben Roethlisberger, being that he's, pretty good this late into his career, but if we can get anybody in their roster, not Juju. Juju's going to be, obviously their number 1 or number 2 or whatever. I don't want Juju. Deontay Thompson would be cool. No, sorry, Deontay Johnson. I forgot his first name, but he's a wide receiver. Johnson, right? Yeah, him.
Yeah.
And there's also a guy named Washington over there too that's pretty decent as well. Somebody like that we can get. Yeah, somebody we can get for maybe like a 4th, 5th round pick. I would be so happy with doing something like that. That's a great question, man. I don't think I've ever been asked that on the spot. That's a good question. But anybody from the Steelers, I'm gonna do a cop out.
Also, I have another thing to say. So you've been asking about the Cliff Kingsbury decision before halftime. So I was watching the game and I was preaching for him just to kick the points or take the points and kick the field goal. I really wanted him to kick the field goal. And when you're playing Bill Belichick, you cannot afford to take points off the board. No matter how, the Patriots, in my opinion, aren't even that bad of a team. They've dealt with a lot of injuries this year. And no matter who's if Bill Belichick's coaching, any team is in the game. So I think you have to kick the field goal. And it showed in the end, because if they did, 20-17, and if not, they tie and go to overtime. And I like the Cardinals' chances in overtime if they tie with the Patriots. So I was just a big advocate for them kicking the field goal. And I think I like Cliff when I just like Cliff when he's in a groove. I just don't like him when he has to make big decisions. When he makes 4th down decisions, he doesn't really thrive in that. When he's in a groove in the middle of a drive, that's when he's at his best, in my opinion.
That's perfectly said, man. And you're probably one of the very few that says go for the 3. I'm right there too, just because I've seen all the games, and most of these games are 1 possession games, and those 3 points were so valuable that if we got stuff, which happened, every point counted. And that's one of the main things. Not only that was Bill Belichick, but every point counted in this game, and that ended up biting us in the butt because Zane Gonzalez ended up missing the field goal.
Yep.
But yeah, brother, thank you so much for getting on. I have another person on queue here. I appreciate you. Let me get you back on another time, okay?
Thank you. Big fan. Keep doing your thing, man.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, all right, guys. Yeah, so here's the truth of the matter here, man. And here's one thing. I love the fact that everybody's got just such different opinions on it. You can either agree with me or you can just hate everything I say. It doesn't matter. I think everybody wants the same end goal here. The end goal is the Arizona Cardinals win. That's it. It's not a lot to ask for, in my personal opinion. It might be being an Arizona sports fan, but that's the truth of the matter here. The Arizona Cardinals, everybody here, all 113 people on the stream right now, we all want the same thing. Whether you think it's Zane Gonzalez's fault that we lost, if it's Cliff Kingsbury's fault, if it's Kyler Murray's fault, Kenyon Drake stuttering, stepping too much, looking more like David Johnson each day, whatever you blame the situation is, we all want the same result. And that's going to be Arizona Cardinals winning. That's the truth of the matter here. Now, we have everything going our way. 5 games left in the season. We have the Rams twice. We have the so we have the Rams twice. We have the Giants. We have Philadelphia. And then we have San Francisco again. Now, in a perfect world, I can see at least 2 of those games being very, very, not easy, but very, very winnable games. Obviously, Philly and the Giants. Now, if we take a look here, the 49ers, they seem like they're coming on a come up. So hopefully they don't get Jimmy G back, or hopefully they continue to lose so we can continue to gain momentum. But the only team that I see here is going to be the Rams. The Rams are going to be in our way, and we need to make sure that we make it a focal point here that we gotta start off fast here. We need to start off fast in this game. All right, let's keep on reading into the comments here. We're getting a lot of people like following me on Instagram. I appreciate you guys. Means the world to me. I'm trying to get to 500 followers on Instagram. It's not a big goal, but I want to hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of the season for this YouTube channel here. This year's been crazy. I think we just celebrated the fact that like we hit 1,000 or 2,000 or something like that. And right now we're like 200, 300 away from hitting 5,000. Super, super crazy. But let's go ahead and jump in. We have another person here waiting in the queue here. Can you hear me? So I'm not going to say that first part of the name, but Cardinal, what's your first name, my friend?
COVID Cardinal.
Okay, gotcha. So just because of like demonetization and stuff like that, I'm not gonna say that word. But anyways, yeah, dude, I cannot hear you very well because the choppiness of it all. But what do you think about this Cardinal game coming forward? Arizona Cardinals versus the Rams. Let me know what you think, man. How's this gonna go down?
I think we could win, but I just hope it doesn't come down to Zane Gonzalez. Honestly, like I can't do it with him anymore. I just can't. And can I just ask you a question real quick?
Okay, yeah, and the choppiness of the videos, if you do want to ask me a question, let's ask it like, let's maybe spend about like 2 or 3 minutes talking and then ask me a question, just because like you're super choppy and I can't understand. But I did hear that you don't want it to come down to Zane Gonzalez. I completely 100% agree with you, my friend. What do you think about Zane Gonzalez's future for the Arizona Cardinals? Do you think he's going to be let go? Do you think we should be looking for a new kicker now? Obviously, we're not going to let him go like right now in the season, but at the end of the season, do you think he's going to be let go?
I think he should stay on the team. You know, we really don't have a better option. But like I said, I'm done with him. Honestly, I really am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Perfect. Yeah, so let's go here. Yeah, it's still pretty choppy here. So let me ask you this question here. Christian Kirk. What do you think about him, man? Do you think he's gonna be a rising star, being number 2 wide receiver? Do you want to see about maybe getting somebody else in the draft or free agency? What's your thoughts?
I think if Fitzgerald retires, we should probably look at getting somebody else. But for right now, he's been decent this year. Honestly, he stepped up a couple of times. I think he did mess up on Sunday, obviously, but people need to just chill out. I heard people saying he should get traded, he should get released. Like, no, calm down. Christian Kirk, he's still nice. But do you think we could still get into the playoffs if we go 9-7?
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. And that's completely fair here. Let me ask you one more question before, if you have any questions for me, I'll definitely love to answer it. Let me ask you one more just because I'm waiting for this like choppiness to clear up so I can actually hear your question. Looking into the offseason, and I know a lot of people hate talking about offseason right now, but like, what do you think is the biggest need for the Arizona Cardinals? Either free agency, draft. Like, if you give me one position here, what do you think is the biggest need?
Cornerback.
DB.
Cornerback.
Okay, that's fair.
Because I don't know what Peterson. I don't know if he's gonna leave. I don't know, how he'll play next year on our team. So I'll say cornerback for sure.
Perfect. Okay, completely understandable, man. Let's go ahead and see if you could. You did have a question you wanted to ask. You said, right?
Yeah. I wanted to know if you think we could make the playoffs if we go 9-7.
Okay. So you're saying that if the Arizona Cardinals make the playoffs, do you think
Can
we'll
we
go
make
far, you said?
no? Can we make it if we go 9-7? Do you think we can?
Oh, 9-7. Okay. So yeah, the Arizona right five games left right now. We're looking at 5 games left in the season. We're 6-5. If we want to go 9-7, which honestly I think it's very, very attainable, we need to win 3 games, 3 out of the 5 games. I think if you take a look at the schedule right now, we have 2 Rams, we have a San Francisco 49ers, a Giants, and a Philadelphia. Philadelphia and Philadelphia and the Giants, they're pretty easy, like winnable, right? They're NFC East teams. I think they're really winnable. If we can somehow split the Rams, I don't think we're going to sweep them at all. But if we can somehow take care of those 2 NFC least teams and then take care of the San Francisco 49ers, hopefully they're still recovering and Jimmy G's not playing again. But if we can somehow finish strong, we can easily be 9-7. 10-6 still. Like I know it's super hard to reach, especially with these last 2 games and how our offense looks like. So I could see that aspect of it all, but like I don't know. I still have hope. Do you have hope for the Arizona Cardinals to make playoffs in your personal opinion?
I still have hope. I just hope we
Good.
could, as long as we beat the Rams. Okay, as long as we beat the Rams, I'm confident. If we could just beat them once, but other than that, if we lose to the Rams twice, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Like you said, Eagles and Giants, we could pull that off. Niners, we could probably beat them again. But like I said, if we beat the Rams, that would let me know that we could not only compete with a playoff team, but we could also finally compete with teams that people are saying that we can't. Because people are saying
Right.
that we can't win a lot of games that are expected. So winning against
Perfect.
these last 2 NFC East teams will prove that we can, and beating the Rams will prove that we're competitive against these playoff teams. Because like we beat the Bills earlier in the season, we beat the Seahawks. You know what I mean? So beating a third team would probably prove a lot. And Rams would be the perfect team to take it out on, because I really don't like the Rams.
I'm very surprised that like this choppiness hasn't like cleared up, because usually by this time like it clears up and I can answer your questions. If you're in the stream still, do you go by the same screen name or no? Because I feel bad because I can't hear the question, and it's nothing to do with you. It's completely like my audio, and I just can't hear the question, and I would hate to answer it and not like give you the what do you go by on here? If you could put it on the chat, I would love to answer it, and that can kind of be like our kind of closing. Do you want to put it in the chat real quick? Oh, here we go. There you go. Appreciate you. Okay, here we go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got your side DM or your private message. Go ahead and ask the question there. Or if you didn't have a question, we can go ahead and probably end the stream here pretty shortly. But if you do, put it here and I will be able to answer that. And I apologize. This for some reason it's not clearing up on my end. You guys are perfectly like crystal clear. Like everybody can hear you perfectly. But
Okay,
I can't.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me good enough for me to ask the question without typing it?
Yeah, so put it in that private chat where you just remember you put your first name or your thing, put it in there, and then I can answer it. Sorry, dude. My bad. This is a really bad experience for you. My bad, man. Yeah, guys. So that's just kind of the truth of the matter. Like, yeah, that's technology for you, and it's nothing to do with you guys or anything like that. It's all my audio. I still need to fix the kinks and stuff like that because this is new to me. Getting people on the stream this way is completely new to me. So, yeah, definitely. So this is the question: do you think Kyler should get Hopkins more involved every time he gets a touchdown? We win. Yeah, actually, I saw that. I saw something like that on Instagram or Twitter or something like that. That like it's like a stat out there. The moment that DeAndre Hopkins gets a touchdown, we win. Hey, that's a great stat, man. Anything DeAndre Hopkins, Kyler Murray, I'm completely 100% involved. I'm up for. Now, it just really depends on Kyler Murray just trusting DeAndre Hopkins, throwing the ball down the field and letting him do his job. And that's something that he needs to ingrain in him. He just needs to trust DeAndre Hopkins. So, bro, thank you so very much for getting on here, man. I'm going to end the stream here. Let me get you back on the stream again, maybe get you a better experience so you can actually talk and I can actually hear what you're saying. But appreciate you for being on here, man. I'm gonna go ahead and have a great rest of your night. Okay. Better experience. You can actually talk, and I can actually hear what you're saying. But appreciate you for being on here, man. I'm gonna go ahead and have a great
Thank you.
night. Okay.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Have a great one. Bye. All right, guys. Thank you so very much for everybody joining on in the stream here. You guys heard him crystal clear. It's not that I'm getting old, which I am, but it's just audio here on my end. They're super, super choppy. Let's read a little bit of comments and then we'll end the stream, guys. It's been a pleasure to talk to every single one of you guys who has chatted in. I've talked to people on here that I've never communicated before with like all my comments, but it's super, super cool to really see a lot of different people out there to kind of like take your take and really like either like they agree with you, and there's also people that don't agree with me, and that's completely fine. Bottom line is our end goal is we want to make sure that the Arizona Cardinal gets a W. That's our end goal. And I'm really excited to kind of go from here on out, guys. So do me one big favor. If you guys can do me one big favor here, drop a like on this video. We have 92 people in here right now. I want to see at least 92 likes on this video by the time it's over. And make sure you put some fist bumps on the chat below. If you're new to the channel, you're new to the stream, usually we only go about an hour and 10 sometimes. If you're coming in right now and like we're ending, make sure you put the post notification bell on YouTube. Put that little notification bell on so when we do go live, you're able to get onto the show here so we can hear your opinions and all that different stuff. So put some fist bumps on the chat below. It's been a pleasure speaking to every single one of you guys. Jordan P, Mo Money, and that's just your name now. Hopefully you know that, my friend, if you're still on the chat. But that's just the truth of the nature here, guys. Thank you so much, every single one of you guys, for getting on here. Alan, also James, in the beginning. I think Kyle was also on here as well. So thank you so very much, everybody, for joining in. Fist pumps on the chat below. Let's get the Arizona Cardinals another win and go 7-5 on the season. That would be, I would just love that. All right, guys, that's all I got for this episode. Thank you so very much for tuning in, guys. Peace out. Later. Go Cards.